What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, the Dean. I am here with, we'll call you S. Is that okay? Is S okay?
Yes,
We'll
yes,
call you
that's fine.
S. Now, let me ask you, how did you find us first off?
My husband is a big fan of Rosebud Bitter Dose. He considers him one of his mentors, and so that's how I first heard of you. And then just a couple of days ago, he had sent me a link of one of your shows talking about wife training. You had a bitter caller,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's how I've heard of you.
Okay. So are you married right now to that guy?
Yes,
Okay. So
yes,
you are married. Okay. How long have you
yes.
been married for?
It hasn't been a year. We got married in July of last year, but it'll be 2 years together in
Oh,
September
okay.
of this
Ooh, well,
year.
all right. I got to write some of this down
Yeah.
because there's questions I got to ask. I'm not going to get too personal, but there's some things because a lot of women kind of do things in these type of relationships that don't, uh, that kind of makes and breaks the relationship. So let me ask you a question. When your first
hmm
argument, what was your first argument about, and what happened?
Our very first argument.
Yes.
Um, it's funny because I remember it was something that was said via text message that was taken the wrong way.
By who?
It's always been about by by him, and it's funny that you asked her because the first argument we had was him offering me advice about something medically or giving me advice about something what I should do. I can't remember what it was for, but it was regarding me questioning him. He always feels like I don't trust his word. He's like, oh well, go ask the doctor then, since you don't
All right.
trust what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you. I got to ask you these questions. Let's see here. Okay, all right. So we're gonna because I have a system here that I always use for couples, and it's the same system I use for myself and my wife. So it
hmm
always works. So let's
hmm
start here. Okay, y'all have been together for 2 years, right?
2 years in September.
2 years in September. Okay. So how long have you
hmm
been married for?
July, August,
July,
September,
August,
October,
September, October,
November,
November, December,
December,
January, February, March.
January.
So 8 years? I mean
8
8
months.
months. 8 months.
8 months. Uh
Okay,
huh.
8 months. Okay. 8 months married. Okay, let's go backwards. Living together. How long have you been living together for before the marriage?
We did it before the marriage.
Okay, good. Okay. So when did y'all move in together?
Just a little bit after the wedding.
Okay, so
It
y'all
was
never
yeah.
lived together, and then y'all went
No,
straight to
not before we
marriage
got
and moved in
married.
together, and then you started having problems
hmm
after you moved in together.
Well, our first argument was before we were married,
Okay,
but
well,
like
okay, yeah, oh
problems,
yeah, we're done with the argument. I'm
the
just saying, as far
problems,
as
yes,
the issues you're having now, it's now that y'all are living together, right?
the issues we're having now have been since the start of. Well, it's been about a month and a half of issues,
Okay, a
so
month and a half. We're
they're
gonna
very recent.
and we'll
hmm
talk about that. A month and a half of issues. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So before we go into the month and a half of issues,
hmm
tell me about the where did y'all meet? When did y'all become boyfriend and girlfriend? Okay, how did y'all meet? Let's start there. How did y'all meet each other?
We met online on a dating site.
Oh,
He messaged me. We chatted on the phone for I think about a week before we met in person, and
okay.
we went on one date one week, and then the following week we went on like three dates in the same week, and it just kind of took off from there. We never
Okay.
really said you're my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend. We just kind of sped off from there.
All right, that's a problem, but we'll discuss that in a second because you
Mm.
didn't have any expectations. I mean, I'm sure you have boundaries and expectations, but the problem is in this situation, I think, is that you didn't lay those out. We'll talk about that in a second. But
Okay.
so from the dating, so y'all met. Let's see here. You've been together 2 years, so we'll say for a year and 4 months, technically. Is that a year and 4 months? A year and four
hmm
months, y'all been boyfriend and girlfriend.
hmm
How did he ask you to marry him?
We were at my place, and it's funny because he had been. had been dating. When he asked me to marry him in February, we had been dating, and we had took a trip, a business trip for his company down to Florida. And we're meeting people that he within the company. He's introducing me as his wife, and I'm just kind of like, okay. I thought that was interesting. At first, it was cute, and then I was like, And he, on New Year's Eve, we spent the evening together, and he was talking about how he wanted to marry me because he just felt that I was in line with what he wanted in a wife. And then February 20, actually it was February 28th last year. He asked me to marry him. It was we were just at home, and he was like, I normally would do something. I think to do something grand, but I just feel like I've never officially asked you to marry me, and so he did it that way.
Now, what kind of a wedding? What kind of a wedding did you have?
It was outdoor. We had we had a very small ceremony, just he and I in Central Park because we live in New York.
Okay, well, okay. All right, now let's talk about the month of. Let's talk about the month of problems. Okay, tell me about the month. Give me a list of all the problems that you're having.
Well, this month that's been going on for the past month, I had lost my job, and so I was just. He works from home, and he's very methodical with how he works. And because we're in tiny New York City, where you're pretty much on top of the person,
right?
If you share space with them,
right.
And so there was, just him being used to being at home, zoning out, working while I'm away at work, just caused friction because we're always in each other's face. And then there was some mounting frustration with just me being overly concerned, worried about me finding another job because I just don't like to be idle.
Okay. Yes.
And so I certainly was. Just overthinking the whole job search thing, having some negative thoughts about the job search thing, especially with me wanting to do something that I'm passionate about rather than just having another job. So that, along with just worrying about finances and making sure that we're still good with just one income, was really where the issues came from. And he just felt that, I don't know, me taking out my frustration about not having a job made me snappy or combative with him.
Okay, we're going to talk about you being snappy. Oh, that's bad. Combative. Wow.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy, snappy and combative, not a good thing. Okay, so this all stemmed from you losing your job, right? And then and worrying about the future, money problems that made you snappy and combative. So, okay, with that being said, what is the